It's been a long road, 6 months to be exact, but we are finally on our last Daniel Craig Bond movie, No Time to Die. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
You've tuned in to the 48th episode of We Used to Talk About This at Work. So, I don't know, guys. Obviously, Josh is here. It's been a long road, 6 fucking months of this. How are you guys feeling?
I don't feel as downbeat as you clearly are, Chad.
It's the end of an era, man.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. It's melancholy. It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
So it's been a good journey, but as we approach,
I've enjoyed this ride. Unlike some of the other journeys we've been on, like I've been excited because the newer movies I haven't seen, so it was something fresh for me to watch to get into. So I enjoyed this ride, and I feel a little bit of British inside me now.
We're all a little British, aren't we?
Just a little. Yeah, I think it also depends on the quality of the film in question. And for me, this is one of the better ones, which makes, talking about it a bit more enjoyable, I guess. Not that it's never not enjoyable.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's just, I don't know, like, obviously, we never did like a whole series of movies. And so, I don't know, just, these movies were of varying quality. And it's just kind of nice, watch some shit and just be like, all right, here are my thoughts. Here's my thoughts on a 15-year-old movie.
Yeah. Also, Daniel Craig's been Bond for longer than any other actor.
He did it longer than Roger Moore? Question mark?
Yeah, fewer films, but more time, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we were talking pre-show about how Japan does not do daylight savings time. And the US, as of recording of this episode, we sprung forward last week. And Josh was saying that is it the UK or Europe?
I can't talk for the rest of Europe. I'm not too sure, but I know the UK does have daylight savings time, but it isn't, as of the recording of this episode, till next week. So there's a 2-week gap between the US and the UK, which is why I was slightly late to today's recording, because I was confused.
Okay, because I thought that the countries that participate in daylight savings, we all just did it at the same time globally. So that's really interesting.
It makes sense, but I think these laws come from quite a long time ago, before the world was as interconnected as it is today. So
that's fair.
I guess everyone has their own method.
Do you see how they're passing the bill to get rid of daylight savings time?
Yeah, I was just about to say that, like, we're finally getting some real headway into like getting rid of this shit in this country.
Yeah, you never really know, like, because it's always been a thing when we do it. To here, when I got here, it's like, hey, some days it's gonna be darker earlier or stuff like that, versus, okay, you got to remember to do your clocks and everything. So I think it makes sense. There's no, in my opinion, unless there's something bigger reason why I don't know. I just don't understand of it in today's time why we need to do that.
Right, because like I don't know how it started, that myth about like, oh yes, the farmers and the animals. It's like that's not why.
Teen Titan taught me that.
Teen Titans taught you what?
That it's the farmer's fault.
Right, but it's actually not. It lies.
Wait. So that's, I thought that was a joke on the show, but that's the real reason. Like, it's something to do with farmers.
No, that is a joke. Like, it's been a long-standing rumor that like, oh, that's why we do it, because of farmers, but that's not the actual reason. Why is daylight savings? It started in during World War One. Yes. I'm not going to look into this. This is getting cut, but it's not because of the farmers.
Oh no, you should leave that in there. But like, yeah, it's because of World War One, and we just move on from there.
Anyway, so something else that I want to ask Josh about. So right now in America, it is tax time until the middle of April. What is tax time like there? I know that I have access to Google, but I also have access to you.
I think in this circumstance, you might find Google more helpful.
You don't pay you don't pay your taxes.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say he hasn't paid his
on.
taxes in.
I'm gonna have to do a runner. No, the way it's done here is it just comes automatically out of your wage slip, so we don't have to do anything ourselves.
Oh, you wait. No. Like, yeah, like for regular jobs, they take taxes out. But then at one point in the year, we are like, okay, I earned, like, of all of the jobs that I had, whether like my employer took money or if I were self-employed, this is the income that I've made. Like, you guys don't have anything like that?
Yeah, I think I've only had a job for like a couple of years. We do have something like that. I think I couldn't tell you when it is, but I'm pretty certain I don't have to do it. Otherwise, I'm in trouble.
But in other countries like Japan, the government does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know how, right? We don't have, like, for US, we have to get our W-2s and do everything like that, to where other countries, the government goes through and does everything, and then they be like, oh, you owe us X amount of money, or oh, you get this money back. So in other countries, the government does it for them.
Yeah. So like, I believe in the 90s, this is the first time I'm going to actually confirm somewhere that I worked on air. So I used to work for H&R Block for a really long time. Which is a tax company in tax services company in North America. I'll say that. And in the 90s, they fought hard against some legislation that was trying to set up taxes like that. Like what Matt was just saying, where we don't have to file every year. It's just like one universal thing and you just go on your business. But, H&R Block didn't want to go out of business. So
I can believe that.
So like, yeah, like ideally that seems easier. Like, I'm curious to know how that would work for like individuals that are self-employed,
Right.
Well,
That's probably where, they're gonna have to do those are the ones where you're gonna have to actually go to somewhere to make your documents. But anybody else, if we're doing some side stuff, like right now, if you're doing like investments and stuff like that, I want to assume that if we was in one of these countries where the government did our stuff, that would just take care of your basic job stuff. But any other extra money you'll get, you probably have to submit those documents and stuff like that.
And it's like more and more with this digital age of like influencers and stuff, like more people are being considered quote unquote self-employed, right? Like, if we actually made money from this podcast, like, that wouldn't be taxed. That's just money that we have to figure some shit out on. I guess we would have to actually start an LLC because we don't want that in either of our names.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, getting off track there. Josh, you have recently gone on a trip with your lovely girlfriend that you refused to marry. Please tell us about that trip.
Yeah, so we went to Bruges, which is in Belgium. It was quite spontaneous. In January, she was just like, yeah, booked as a holiday in a month's time. And I was like, cool. She has these, she gets points through work, which you get for doing well, I suppose, being helpful.
Oh, do they take the points? So do they take the points away when you're doing bad? Like, you late for work, that's gonna be 5 points.
That would be harsh. I don't believe so. If that is the case, then obviously she's been very well behaved. I think they just don't give you points. Like at my work with the same scheme, and I've got none. So, but she's accrued about £600 worth, which is $800, I guess, which turned out to be enough for a holiday. So she just booked us a holiday to Bruges, and we went there for a nice weekend. And yeah, I would recommend it. It's a very nice city. I mean, obviously very far if you're not, in Europe. But for us, it was like a train ride away.
Hold up. When did the dollar get so strong? 600 pounds is $790. What the hell happened here?
No, it has got strong in the last months or so. The dollar keeps rising. So when I have to pay my rent in yen, yeah, the dollar is strong these days. So let it keep going.
Josh, what happened, man? Like y'all had Brexit, and then we got rid of Trump, and it's just like we doing good over here. What the fuck y'all doing?
That's all right. I mean, yeah, currency fluctuations. We could talk about this for a long time, but dollar was very strong in the 90s as well, as you'll remember, and I won't, because I was a small child.
Well, excuse me, young man. Excuse me.
You old ass dude.
Your words, not mine.
All right. So
Actually,
you guys are in Bruges.
Yeah. It was just a lovely time. Just walking around the very bad. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. And
Really?
I just went with the assumption.
How have we just? We've known you for
controversial.
We've known you for 6 months. How have we just learned this?
Because we haven't been to dinner together yet, and so these things don't come out.
Hey man, don't be saying shit like that. Because I swear to you, when I get back to the UK, like, don't be like I'm busy that day. All right, like we're fucking hanging out.
I'll pen it in the diary. Yeah.
Speaking of said diary, this is gonna be like a really spastic episode. I'm full of coffee right now. Where in the fuck is that book, Josh?
I was doing.
Don't be saying I'm gonna put it in my diary to remind myself. No, where the fuck's the book? Matt asked me. Like, me and Matt were talking one week, and he's like, "Did Josh send you that book?" And I was like, "No."
Right. I was making sure. I'm like, I just want to make sure that you sent to the chat, and like maybe I missed out on it. So I was like, hold up, did he send it to you and not me?
Mm-mm.
No, I this morning, I found it. I couldn't find it for a while, which is worrying because it's a whole novel. But I found it, downloaded it, and then I was gonna send it through Facebook, but I forgot my login details on my computer. So I'm gonna.
You have our email, man.
Do I have your email?
Yeah,
I do. All right. I'll email it to you, and then you can.
No, it's our email.
Oh, you share it.
We both, yeah.
Oh, perfect. All right, okay, I'll do that.
It's the podcast email.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll send it straight there, and then it's done.
So when Josh returns, what is this? This is March right now. You're gonna be back in May.
Wait. What's he doing in May?
That's when we'll bring him back.
I
don't know for what movie, but I'm just saying like he's.
Because I was like, wait, there's another Bond movie. I thought the ending was pretty explanatory.
No, like we're finally free of the shackles of these James Bond movies, and we could just have a regular fucking movie discussion with him. When you come back in May, I don't know what it is. We're gonna be like, where's that book, Josh?
Well, you won't, because I'll have sent it to you definitely. I promise. I swear.
Okay. All right. So you are a vegetarian. Is your girlfriend one as well?
I think when you live with someone who's vegetarian, you kind of have to make your diet quite malleable and
but here's the deal, Josh. And once more, we're cousins, so I'm going to continue to shit on you. But you live with other people too, and I assume that they aren't conforming to shit that's got to do with you.
So I live with my girlfriend's family,
right.
Saving money. Her parents are both vegetarian.
Oh, well, that was a fucking twist.
So she's
the only carnivore in the house, huh?
Oh, no. So she likes the idea of vegetarianism. She doesn't like eating meat. Well, she does because it tastes good, but also ethically she doesn't. So she's always happy to get the veggie option. And her siblings have quite different diets anyway. So even before I arrived at the house, they all ate different meals. So I haven't shaken things up. I don't have that on my conscience.
Okay.
What I was saying was, in the UK, even if you're a vegan, it's very easy to get whatever food you want. The cuisine is very international, and there's all sorts. You go to Bruges, not the case. It's just everywhere is just beef stew and chips.
That
When
sounds
I say
like my
chips, I
kind of
mean like
place.
fries. Oh yeah, no, it's I would have loved it a couple of years ago. It's really good food. It's just yeah, it subsisted on cheese croquettes and beer for most of it.
That sounds like a
Which is
vacation.
not bad. Yeah. So it's just a warning in case you don't eat cheese or whatever. You're gonna starve.
Oh wait, are you vegan or vegetarian?
I'm just vegetarian. Otherwise, I would be dead. I wouldn't be here
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No milk, no cheese, no eggs,
No.
delicious eggs. Wait a minute. Wait, can you eat eggs? That's vegetarian, right? Eggs, no.
Yeah.
No, that's vegan.
No,
Vegans
It's
don't
vegan
eat
when you
eggs.
can't.
yeah, but just
Yeah.
thinking like what eggs are. That's why I was like, is it okay
Oh.
to?
For a vegetarian eat it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. It's not. There's no
Yeah.
meat in that yolk.
it could have been a chicken though.
Well, it's already
I-
sort of not dead, but
Yeah,
or-
yeah, yeah.
It's I don't think we have the words to describe that. But yeah.
Moving on. What you been playing, man?
So I've boarded the hype train and I got Elden Ring. Just because I was so bored with all the other games playing.
You're so bored of playing a game where you can save and when you die you don't have to start all over.
That's
Little
correct,
things like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I
So-
did play Dark Souls ages ago, and I really enjoyed that. I thought I might as well get this one. It's exactly the same, which is good, I guess.
Yeah, you're an Xbox guy. Like I played
Mhm.
on PS5 Returnal, which is a Souls, I think the term is Souls Light. And
Right, okay.
yeah, I was like, this is fucking stupid. Why are people doing this?
I haven't heard of that one. Is it by the same company?
No, it's I forget. It's a newer company. I think Sony just acquired them.
Right.
But no, like so I've been getting games from the library to be like fiscally responsible, and they'll give you like 2 weeks with a game. And I was like, cool. I had that game 1 week before I cleared the first area.
Really?
And I was like,
Oh,
fuck
gosh.
this. I returned that shit early.
I don't blame you. Have you played Elden Ring?
No, is it on PlayStation?
It's on everything.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on Nintendo,
Yeah.
but everything else.
I've seen a lot of clips of it and people dying off stuff, people creating different characters, but I haven't played it myself. How do you like it so far?
It's good. It's very difficult. It's very hard.
Yeah.
That's the parts I've been reading that it is.
Yeah, that's part of the appeal. Like, it doesn't hold your hand. It's not just fighting stuff's difficult, but you have no idea where you're supposed to go, who to talk to. But that's kind of what makes it different. It's multiplayer insofar as people leave like little messages around for you, and these messages will give you little hints. But even the messages themselves are really restricted by what you can actually say. So everything is kind of done in innuendo and euphemism. So you'll come across a little message telling you to jump off a cliff, and like some other player has left this for you, and you don't know if to trust it or not. So you jump off, and then you fall to your death, and you're like, "Fuck's sake!" It's a lot like that, but it's good fun so far. Next time I see you, I'll tell you I've given up in it because it's too hard, probably. But we'll see.
I mean, that'd be a few months away, so it'd be like, oh yeah, I got like to the middle of the first area, and then I was like, well, I'm done. Did you buy the game?
Tutorial. I did, yeah. As opposed to stealing it, or
Well, is there anywhere you can rent or borrow a game? Like I said, like I've been like borrowing games from the local library.
yeah, I guess our library is exclusively books. I think. I'm not too
Okay.
sure. I don't buy games very often though, so when I do want to play a game, I think, but I don't go out and buy it. I just get it straight from the online store, so it's just more convenient.
Oh, you're an all digital person?
I don't define myself that way, but just for convenience, usually, yeah.
I appreciate the convenience of digital, like not having to get up and get a disc. in my house. And
Yeah.
like I have pretty fast internet, but I don't know, it's just this is that old part of me where it's just like I don't like the idea of like they can take something away from me. So
Well, they're not going to, are they?
like if they delist the game.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that happened to Cyberpunk, didn't it? Originally on the
Yeah, I mean that
PlayStation
had
Store.
of all those issues. Yes, they did delist it for a while on the store.
I guess if you already downloaded it, but I mean, I played that when it came out and really enjoyed it. So I would be quite indignant if they turned around and said, "No, you can't play this anymore."
What is your opinion on digital games, Matt?
I get both ideas, but I'm kind of like you, but not for the reason you said. It's kind of like I like to have the collection of it. I like to have it's kind of like books where you can get it all on a Kindle or whatever, but I just like having the hard copy of a book where I just like to have the cases of the games and everything like that. Just as I look through it, I'm like, oh, I remember this game and stuff. And yeah, but I understand the convenience of just having it already on your system and everything. But me, just personally, unless it's something simple like a demo, I mean, what's the last game I downloaded? I can't even remember. But like on my son's Switch, I used to do that stuff a lot of times. But now, because it's easier for me just to put an SD card into the Switch versus trying to get more room on the PlayStation too. But also, like I said, I just like having the hard copy for a collection and everything.
I get that. So what have you been up to, Matt?
Working. But when I'm not working, one thing is I was able to catch this movie on Netflix called The Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds. Have you guys heard of it or seen it?
I've heard of it.
It is pretty good, pretty good. You have your action, you have your Ryan Reynolds type comedy, but one thing I was not expecting it from this movie, it was pulling on my heartstrings multiple times throughout this movie. I got that lump in my throat where it's like I'm about to cry, but no tears came out, but it was close. I was surprised by this movie, but I highly recommend it. Also, Gamora.
Oh, Zoe Saldana.
She's in it too.
So
and it's good.
I want you to tell us what it's about, Matt, without getting into it. Like your spoiler-free description.
Ryan Reynolds' character goes back in time because his wife, Zoe, went back in time and she hasn't been back in a certain amount of time. So everybody assumes she's dead, but he doesn't. So he goes back in time to try to find her and save her and stuff.
Interesting. That's not how the trailer describes it. So it's very interesting.
How did the trailer describe it for you?
In the trailer, it shows that it opens with him as a kid, like his younger self. And it's like, oh, okay, this is some fun little movie where some kid is trying to get past the death of his father. And then like crazy shit starts to happen. And then like adult Ryan Reynolds shows up.
Yeah, so since you know that part, so when he goes back in time to find his wife, he didn't have enough gas juice to get where he's going. So he stopped in the time and he meets his younger self
Had to make
and
a pit stop.
right. And then stuff ensues.
Yeah. So looking at so my biggest complaint, and we touched on this last time Josh was here, with Netflix movies is it feels like what they'll do is they'll be like, okay, we're gonna give this well-known actor $10 million, and that's where most of the budget went. We're gonna treat the script as an afterthought and let's just knock this shit out. And what I found very interesting when I saw the trailer was that it had a decent cast. Like I love Jennifer Garner. I wish that they would stop giving her mom roles because like she was Alias. All right, she can do some fight choreography. She was Elektra. She was in a shit movie, but like she can do more than just play somebody's mom. Then it had fucking what's the Hulk's name?
Gruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, and it also had Zoe Saldana along with Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, these are some high class actors here in a Netflix movie, and you don't see that often because usually it just be like, here's Ryan Reynolds, and then some people you've never seen before in your entire life.
So really, you had Gamora, Deadpool, and the Hulk all in one movie, and Elektra.
Right.
But that got me thinking: is when was the last time that you TV show or movie that you cried, or if you too hard, you don't cry, that you almost cried? The last movie I cried or TV show I cried in was the anime One Piece, and I cried twice during that series. Once where for the One Piece character, people know Luffy's brother dies in front of him by protecting him, and then another one when Nico Robin decided that she wanted to go with the Straw Hat Pirates, and I cried during that. So, what's a TV show or movie the last time you cried watching it? Josh?
Well, for me, obviously, I have nerves of steel, so it's very rare that I'm affected in that way by something fictional or real, to be honest. I don't know. What have I cried at? I should really keep a list of what makes me cry.
You should put like a footnote on your Goodreads, a footnote on your letterbox.
Yeah, I'm at Goodreads, to be fair. I know I did. I'm sure I have a review or it's just Charlie Chaplin. That was it.
The one with Robert Downey Jr.
No, the actual Charlie Chaplin.
Oh,
yeah. It was City Lights. It's where he filmed from 100 years ago now, where he falls in love with this blind flower girl. She sells flowers. And he basically goes out of his way to, I can't remember now. I think there's like a cure for blindness that he finds for her. And spoilers, she gets cured. And then it's when she recognizes him at the end. It's just very moving.
So yeah, since I've become a girl dad, like most things involving like fathers and their daughters, like that shit kills me every time. So like that, what's that boy's name? What's that man's name from Guardians? The main one, Chris Pratt. That sci-fi movie he did for Amazon with the time travel. Tomorrow War or something like that. Like
yeah. Okay, I remember. I watched it. Yeah,
that was like a whole thing with like his daughter. He met his daughter in the future, and like she died in the future, but then he got like sucked back to the past, and there was a scene where he saw his daughter when she was like, he came home and his daughter was there as a little girl, and I had to pause that shit. I was just so welled up. I was like, that's his baby girl. She's not dead yet. And it's just, it's just, I don't know. Anything with daughters, I'm melted. Except in Black Widow. None of that shit hit me.
That's the thing in this one, with his relationship with his father, Mark Ruffalo, but then his relationship with his father, but also his relationship with his mother. It was like, 'cause I'm a mama's boy. So like both of those times when they were doing that, I was just like, and then things happen. And then there's like this meaningful thing with the father talking to both his sons, old and young. And he's like saying this stuff because, we already know that his father died, but then they go back and they're able to talk to him. And it was like, when he's talking to them, talking about how much he loves them and stuff, it was like, that was hitting me in my chest. And I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. But then, Ryan Reynolds comedy came soon. So I was able to move past that.
Just because you are a boy dad doesn't mean that you can't, be in tune with your emotions. It's okay to cry. We need to let men know that it's okay to cry.
Hey man, I cried off some anime, so I'll be the first one to tell you it's okay to cry. I wanted to tell you guys that there has been this rock in Japan for thousands of years. And recently, up to last week, this rock cracked. Now, that might not seem a big deal to you guys right now, but I want to explain the story to you.
I mean, if it sounds scary as shit, like an ancient rock, like obviously that rock isn't a rock. It's like some sort of like prison, magic prison. And so like now that it's cracked, like some evil has descended upon the earth.
Or an alien egg.
Yes.
Just hatched.
Yes.
Did you already read this news story?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Is that the truth?
But we've seen movies.
Well, you're 100% right. That's exactly what it is. So normally I just come off the top of my head, but I want to read you this thing from a news article. This month, a volcanic rock split in two at Nikko National Park, about 100 miles north of Tokyo. Intact, the rock was about 6 feet tall and 26 feet in circumference. It has been associated with a Japanese legend in which an evil fox spirit haunts a killing stone, or Shisho Psyche in Japanese, making it deadly to humans. Some people have speculated that the fractured set that the fox loose to cause further harm. So now, basically, what it comes down to, the legend is that this fox, it's a 9-tailed fox demon that can turn into a woman, was basically imprisoned in this rock. And up to a couple weeks ago, for some explain that nobody knows why, this rock cracked open. So now there's two theories that, all hell's about to break loose now, or that maybe so this monk says that maybe the fox is going to be a basically a good thing to detain. No, like warn off against bad stuff. Yeah, deter. There we go. Deter. Sorry, deter off bad spirits. So either A, bad shit's about to happen, or A, this demon that's been let loose from this rock is going to help us. Only time will tell.
Good luck.
Right. So we'll see. And in unrelated news or related news, we had an earthquake yesterday.
Another one?
I'm sure you have an earthquake every time we do one of these.
Right. Or a tsunami or a fucking typhoon.
Right. But this one wasn't at where I'm at. It was in northern Japan, but I'm not saying it has anything to do with this rock.
But I'm also not saying.
Right.
So I did another Facebook Marketplace deal. I seem to be doing a lot of these when Josh is on the show. So I bought another audio interface. This one, you can plug 4 microphones in it instead of 2. And I really want to get on this whole, yes, I got people over here, and either I'm doing some shit without Matt or we patching in and talking to Matt. I want to do local podcast stuff. I don't want to talk to people through a screen. So like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I got to figure out, like, I've been thinking about it. Like if we're doing one with you, like I might just keep the camera on me and you just hear a voice so that I can no, so just like, it's how I'm arranging it too. So I don't know.
Well, that's fine, because even if you do video stuff, you don't ever put the guest on anyway, so you might as well just be just on you.
Yeah. So I don't know. So that's just kind of what I'm trying to figure out, like genuinely, like how it would go. But like, so the interface for 4 microphones is apparently like 4 times as much as the interface for like 2, which I'm like, that's weird and stupid. So I become what I hate the most, and I haggled with this guy on that thing. And I was like, okay, I will pay you $100 less than what you're asking. And they were like, no, fuck you. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so this is last Saturday. And so then Sunday they were like, hey, I'll take $50 off. And I was like, no go. Because the other issue was they are in Springfield, Illinois, which is like 2 hours away from here.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, nah, I'm not driving for $200 off. So Monday they hit me up and it's like, are you still interested? And I was like, for $100 off, I am. And then it's like, yes, all right, fine. And I was like,
Nice.
also speed bump. I can't drive to you because it's during the week. And so, I got to do pickup with my daughter and all this stuff. And they're like, okay, we'll drive to you. And I'm like, oh, y'all coming here and y'all taking less money? Sounds like a scam. And
They needed that
$200.
money. No, they was like, shit, we gotta take whatever we could get.
Yeah, with gas prices the way they are too, like you just eating up your profit margins here. And so before the dude came, drove out, he's like, hey, can I get your phone number? And I was like, no, you can talk to me on Facebook Messenger. And so he gave me his number and I was like, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, so you got to plug this up into power as well as plug it up into your computer. And the thing I like about the one I have for two is like the only power source you need is just the wire to connect it to the computer. So it does the data and the power all in one. So less shit you got to take. But since this one's bigger, it needs power, its own independent power. And he's like, hey man, do you have like one of these like 12-volt power cable thingies? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, well, I got one for it, but I need to keep it. And I'm like, what? And so I'm like, why the fuck can't I just have a goddamn the wire that it came with? And he's like, these the terms of the deal. I'm like, okay.
I thought you were gonna say I had this cord, but it's $30 for this cord.
Nah. I mean, he should have been like, it's an extra $50. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I went to Walmart and I got like I bought one of those universal laptop chargers, like the different plugs, so I can figure out which one it goes to. And so he's like, hey man, I'll give you a microphone cord to like, for a, to say, hey, I'm giving you this instead. I'm like, it's not power in the device, but okay. So we meet and he seems like a nice enough guy. He wanted to do music stuff, but he gave up on that. And so he kind of smelled like, he smokes a little weed during his day. And I'm like, okay. He said he's a musician. Okay. And
You got to get
so
those creative juices flowing.
yeah. So, I get the stuff and, I'm on my way. And so I came home, I sat it on my table and, went about the rest of my day. And so the next day I'm sitting at that table editing the last episode and I'm like, sniff, 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 sniff. Smells like weed in my house. And I know I don't smoke weed. And so I was like, I need to probably sit this audio interface outside to kind of air out. So I do. And I'll go back to my table and I'm editing and I'm like, still smells like weed in here. And then I look at and I see that wire, that microphone wire is on the table and I smell it. And it's just like, it's just soaked in like weed smoke. And I'm like, were you like blowing the smoke directly into the wire? Like, why does it smell this strong?
Yes, you never seen a rapper rap? They be having a blood in their mouth while they rap.
No, you're right. I don't know why I'm being so insensitive to artists in that process. So I tried to air that wire out, but it was just too far gone, so I threw it away. But it's just like, what are we doing here, guy?
I mean, you should do the opposite. Start smoking weed, so now you will have a reason why it smells like weed.
But Matt, that's cutting into my profit margins.
Oh yeah, that is true. we still not making no money off of this podcast.
We're in the red.
Yeah,
the red. Like, yeah, I'm paying for a fucking Zoom premium. So yeah.
So as we start getting paid, we will buy Zoom premium and weed with it.
Donations accepted.
So last thing. So going back to like the last time Sarah and LaMitchell were on the podcast, we talked about self-care. And I had my first pedicure yesterday, guys. And,
all right, what made you do it?
a friend of mine who will be on the show in a couple of weeks. She was like, I can't believe you've never like had like a massage or a pedicure or anything like that. And I was just like, I don't know. It just feels weird to have people like touching your feet or your back and stuff, like people that you don't know. We hung out yesterday and she took me to her local salon. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand anything that's going on here. They like, we walk in and they like pick your color. I'm like, what color? What's happening here? And we get to like the little chairs and
Wait. What color did you pick?
I didn't pick any color. She's like, you don't need that. I was like, oh, okay.
Nah, man, get that clear coat.
Look, I didn't know what was happening. All right. Have you done a pedicure before, Josh?
God, no.
See, over here with these antiquated ideas of male masculinity and stuff.
Hey, what you expect from Josh? He don't even cry in front of movies. So
exactly.
Of course he
toxic on top of the top.
I'm far too masculine. No, but like even as guys, we don't. It's unusual that we would see the appeal in a pedicure. It's not. I don't feel like it's just something missing from my life.
I get that. I totally get that. So
pedicure, I agree with. Manicure, nah, you need to get yourself a manicure though.
Why you say that?
You gotta have your digits looking nice. Get your cuticles, get that stuff pushed back, clean them up.
But it's getting warmer outside, man. Get those toes out.
The thing with me is I've gotten a pedicure before, but like I'm ticklish. Mm-hmm. So like as they're doing it, I'm always like like giggling and stuff. So I don't really like pedicures, but manicures, manicures and massages, yeah.
But yeah, it was nice. It was cool. Like, we sat down and put our feet in the water and they hand you like the little menu. And I'm like, I don't understand what is happening. And I'm saying like this thing that we're about to do is $100 with no polish. I'm like, what is happening here? And she's like, he wants this and that. And she's like telling them what I'm going to get. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And yeah. So anyway, to long story short, it was nice.
Would you do it again?
I wouldn't pay for it, but I would do it again.
Are you going to post a picture of your toes for the gram so they can see what you got?
Nah, because if you want to see pictures of my feet, you guys subscribe to my OnlyFans. I'm not giving that away for free. Okay.
All right. What about massages? You still haven't got a massage?
I have not.
Josh, have you got a massage? A legit massage?
What do you mean by a legit massage?
Not like your girlfriend.
Well, no, I meant like, well, Josh knew what I meant when I said that. I wasn't talking about his girlfriend.
No, I could probably do. What do you mean by legit? A natural massage. I probably could do one because I woke up the other day and I couldn't move my neck, and it's still quite stiff. Yeah, so I need someone with strong hands to just caress me.
But one thing I've learned is they don't have to be like a big dude, because my wife's cousin is a masseuse and she's probably weighs $105. Who knows? But she was giving me a massage and she was putting pressure on me, and then like she was supposed to say, let her itai means it hurts in Japanese. So she was like, say itai when it hurts, right? So she's giving massaging my back, it's hurting me. I'm not trying to look weak. So she's doing it, and it gets to a point where I'm like, itai. She's like, oh, go menasai. But yeah, her little hand, she was just doing it and everything.
All in your deep tissue and stuff.
Right. So she like the first time, that was the first time I ever got a legit massage, meaning
it wasn't your girlfriend.
Yes, it wasn't my girlfriend. So yeah. But then my next day, my body was so sore. And it was because she was working on the muscles that I never used and everything. And then I asked her about that. And she was saying it's because, you're supposed to get a massage, or not supposed to, should get a massage every couple of weeks. Every like 3 to 4 weeks, you should get a massage and to work out those muscles that you hardly ever use and stuff like that. So then I got it again like 3-4 weeks after that. And then it was less sore. But then also now that was like 5 months ago. So
is that true though? If I had a business where I could charge $100 for a massage, I would also say you should come back next week and the week after that. And
Well, also, I didn't pay for, it's family, so she did it for free. Oh wait, dude, I'm gonna mean to ask you about that. I got me thinking. What was your thoughts about the theater raising their price for certain movies? I've been meaning to ask you about that.
I get it.
Well, on Josh, I don't know if they're doing it there, but basically, before movie theaters had a set price, you pay your ticket, you go in there, whatever movie you want to see.
I
Now,
mean,
what they
but it also varied at the time of day as well, because
yeah,
like evening tickets cost more than like the first showing of the day.
Right, but now they're doing it per movie, so like a Marvel movie will go ticket price would be a lot higher than a lesser
Some
known
romantic
movie.
comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So I was like, what is your guys' thoughts about them charging for movie that way?
Well, before you jump in, Josh, so specifically what happened was some theaters are charging more for screenings of the Batman.
yeah,
And
I heard that. Yeah,
that's partially because like the movie's 3 hours long. So it's like you're not going to have as many screenings for that as you would for something that's 2 hours. So like they're losing money screening the Batman.
That's true. Yeah, and I guess the logic they can push is that you're getting more of your money's worth. You're there for longer. I think it's kind of annoying from the customer's point of view, but at the end of the day, they can charge whatever they want. They could charge $1 million if they wanted. The reason they don't is because no one would pay for that. So they're going to charge whatever they can to get the maximum profit. And if this is the way they're going to do that, then they're going to do that. And there isn't really anything we can say about that apart from.
I mean, the only thing we truly can
boycotting it,
say, yeah, but like the thing is, like, do boycotts work in this digital age?
I not necessarily a boycott, but like if you're thinking I'm going to go to the cinema and watch Batman, but oh no, it's too expensive, I'm not going to. That's a boycott. That's not like something you've intentionally thought to do, but it's just you can't justify paying that price. So if a lot of people do that, then they're not going to carry on doing that. But if people do still go, then they're going to keep those prices.
I don't think that this. I agree that like if they feel like that is an appropriate amount of money to charge because they're losing additional screenings, like okay, go for it. But in this day and age where like the time between a movie being in the theater and being home on streaming has gotten so much shorter, I don't know if that's a good idea. Because like we already know the streaming date of Batman. We knew it before the movie even came out. It will be on streaming next month, like a month after it came in theaters. You can watch it at home, not necessarily for free, but however much money you pay for whatever streaming service is going to be in your country. So it's like, is this really the time to say you're going to be charged more just to be part of the conversation? I don't think so, personally.
Because like I know, then they say it was like AMC. So like as somebody, me for example, if I would have went there, I would have went to my theater, paid whatever the price was. If it would have been high, I would have been like, damn, that's high. But I still would have paid for it. I'm already here. But like, do you think people would have been like, no, I'm not gonna go to AMC. I'm gonna go to Warenberg or somebody else, some cheaper place, or somebody that's cheaper than that?
Well, the thing is like a lot of the time we pick the theaters we pick because it's either close to us or we like that specific theater because we like the seats or whatever, right? We like the experience. So I don't think that's going to deter a lot of people from going elsewhere. Because like in our minds, we have decided this is where we go for movies.
And I agree because I would pay more like for a better theater, just like here. The theater on base is garbage. So I waited for Spider-Man to be out in town because that theater that I was going to was trash. So I waited to see it out there. So yeah, once you find your theater that you want, you stick with it, good or bad.
Do you have a specific theater, Josh?
Not really, no. I've only been in London for about 6 months now, and obviously there are so many cinemas in London. Right. So obviously for Bond, I saw that in the IMAX. It's at the BFI Institute right in the middle of town. Batman, I saw at the Odeon, which is close by, but it's not an IMAX cinema. June, June I saw in a different part of the country. I saw another film in Richmond, which is like nearby. So yeah, no, it's just whatever's. Again, if you live in a big city, you have the luxury of choosing depending on how much you like the film, what you want to pay, how far you want to go. But if you live in like a village, for example, you've only got one cinema, if that.
Right.
So
And
you're
so
just
like
gonna go there.
yeah, so you're just gonna pay that price regardless.
Yeah, and the thing is, most people don't go to the cinema that often,
Right.
so they're not going to notice price hikes because they can't remember what they paid last time.
Right. Like especially
Exactly.
now, like where it's like really like one movie a month, really that's worth seeing in the theater, if that.
If that, yeah.
So, what is the ticket prices these days?
Yeah, let's look it up, Josh. You and me. If we were going to go
Yeah.
to the movie this evening, how much money would we spend?
Right, let me look at my local. Let me go for London Centre because that's kind of extortionate.
You want to do Batman?
Yeah, I'll do Odeon Batman.
Let's do the latest showing.
The latest show. Okay. Midnight
So
screening.
for me, it would be at 10:30 p.m. tonight. It would be $15.57 at the theater I like to go to.
15. Wait, how much?
$15.57.
For one ticket?
Yes.
Yeah, we have standard seats and VIP seats, which are exactly the same.
I was about to ask you what was the difference between the two.
So is
Yeah.
one not like you can pick the seat and the other one's like general seating?
No, you could pick any of them.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting then.
There's only one row of VIP. So this would be £12.50 for a
Right.
ticket for a 15-year-old or over. So I guess about
It's around the
$16,
same.
something like
Yeah, it's
that.
around the same. Okay, that's not as bad as I was thinking it was going to be.
It's not as bad as I was thinking either.
This week we discuss No Time to Die.
Bond, any thug can kill. I have to know I can trust you.
Well, I understand double O's have a very short life expectancy.
You are a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond.
Is this really what you want? Always alone?
The past isn't dead.
James Bond.
We both eradicate people to make the world a better place. I just want to be a little tidier.
James Bond has left active service. His peace is short-lived when Felix turns up asking for help, leading Bond onto the trail of a mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. Matt, what did you think of No Time to Die?
I really enjoyed it. I love, I mention this every time we do this, but I always love, they always have great action scenes at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But with this movie, I like the whole storytelling and how him being out the game. I enjoyed it. Without getting too, we can talk more about specifics, but yeah, overall, I enjoyed it.
Before this film came out, I predicted it would be, for me, sort of in the middle of the rankings of the Craig films, because, you know, Casino Royale and Skyfall are both, I think, quite excellent. Spectre and Quantum of Solace, I think, are quite good, but then they're not on the same level. And I just had a feeling this would be, you know, smack bang in the middle, and I think it is. I think it's, I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as Casino Royale and Skyfall, but I do think it's better than Spectre and Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, I can agree with that. So I saw this movie in the theater, and until I rewatched it this week, I was still unsure if I liked it.
And why was that?
I didn't have any problems with Bond dying at the end, but it's just like sometimes I like to think what if, and it's kind of hard to get past that. Like that was what?
Well, I was going to say that was one of my. It's not really a problem, but I thought they could have handled it better. I thought even before the film came out, what they should do is an ambiguous death like The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, no,
Where-
no, I don't care about that. Like, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
mind that the
That's
death
just
is
me.
definitive. My what if is, what if you guys had a fucking plan from the beginning and you weren't just making this shit up as you went? Because like the impact of Bond quitting in Spectre at the end of Spectre, and also him staying out the game into like technically he never really got back into the service until like they did that mission technically, you know, at the end. But like I feel like the impact of him quitting and staying like off duty would have hit harder if he didn't quit in every fucking movie, you know.
Yeah.
So like it's like little shit like that. It's like this means nothing because like you wanted to quit in Casino Royale, you went rogue in Quantum, you fucking quit and faked your death in Skyfall, you know? So it's like you did this every fucking movie. So like this means nothing that like you've been missing for 5 years, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think I do like that the Craig films follow this continuity, which I think it's something the previous Bonds are lacking to a degree.
Yeah.
But if they planned it from the start, it would have been better. And I think we talked about this during the Spect episode.
Yeah. But like overall, like on the second viewing of the movie, I did like it more. I mean, I didn't hate it. It's just like I was like, how do I feel about this? Like overall, it's good. The whole he has a child thing, it felt a little fanficky.
Yeah.
But overall, it was good.
I think, yeah, one thing you can definitely say about this one is it's the most ambitious Bond film.
Yes.
I mean, giving him a child for one thing, they haven't done that before. I think they've done it in one of the continuity books by, I think, Raymond, what's his name? I can't remember. Raymond Benson. Killing off Felix Leiter.
Again?
They've never, well, he's never really died before. He's been,
I'm sorry. Have you not seen License to Kill?
He doesn't die. He gets gravely injured, but
they fucking killed him.
No, I think it's implied that he survives, but he's out of action. But yeah, in this one, they definitely kill him. And then, who else did they kill? They kill everyone. They kill Blofeld.
Oh my God. Why did he even fucking come back?
I did think he had to come back because he's the big villain. And I think they actually handle that quite well, considering.
I don't agree.
No. Okay.
I think because it's like you introduce him in Spectre as like, oh yeah, he's this big bad, he's this looming threat, and he gets caught, and then he dies in the next movie.
I would have rather he be the big, the arch villain, but I think it would be difficult to sell a film, especially a Bond film, where it's just the same villain as you had in the last film. So I think Rami Malek had to step up to the table in that respect, and I can understand. I think Kari Fukunaga, he was doing the best he could with a bad mess, essentially, with Spectre. And I think one of his initial visions for the film actually involved, if you remember at the end of Spectre, where he gets like tortured, he gets stabbed in the brain with like a needle. Yeah. His idea was that everything that happens after that in the film is a dream. Sounds bizarre, but it allows him to retcon that ending and say, actually, the ending is probably the worst part of Spectre. You could basically say this didn't really happen. This is all in his head, and would allow him the scope to push the franchise in a slightly different direction and have a more conclusive film in that respect.
I get that.
But I think obviously went down the less risky route. And I think he did the best he could with that.
I talked earlier about crying in movies and things like that. So with this being the 5th movie and him dying, I felt nothing. And I was like, so which way, if you guys were going to kill him, given the plot of the movie and everything, what way could I have done it to where I would have felt something for Bond or make me cry or something like that? Because when he did that, I was like, okay, he saved everybody and he's doing it, and he talks to his daughter and everything, and then he just accepts it. But it was like I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any like sympathy or anything like that.
Well, again, playing devil's advocate, I wouldn't change it because that actually worked for me. I did tear up a little bit, but I think part of the reason is you didn't see On Her Majesty's Secret Service before watching this film, did you?
No, I watched it after.
Right. Okay. So the music that plays at the beginning and at the end, and particularly during the credits, is from that film, and it's the music that plays when his wife dies. So instantly, you've got that kind of reference in mind, and also it's a really beautiful piece of music. And I think that was probably what set me off, because then you that realization dawns in you that they're playing around with that, and someone's going to die, and it's probably him. And I don't know, it affected me.
I wish that yes, he decided to be selfless because of the nanobots and he could never like touch his family. I wish that we could have like seen like some sort of deterioration of Bond so that it made sense, like I'm going to kill myself because like obviously I'm going to die anyway. Like if there was something that was actually killing him versus him choosing to die, maybe for me that could have
He
worked.
got shot
better.
like 5 times. So no,
Man, that scene at the end where he's just like, it basically became a fucking video game when he's just like headshotting everybody. But I do like that they did the gun barrel scene in that scene. That was really fucking cool.
Yeah, that was in the trailer as well.
Yeah. I will say like that opening sequence after that opening sequence after the title, when that team is going into the building and like you don't realize the camera's upside down. And then they go into the building. I thought that shit was so fucking badass.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a lot of really cool scenes in this film.
The magnets?
Oh, yeah, when he dropped them down. Yeah. What do you guys think about new 007?
I like her.
Yeah. I think that was a good direction to take the film as well. It made sense, him being in retirement. And then he comes back and he's kind of brushing up against someone who's quite opposite him in many respects. I think it's a good relationship they have.
Like just outside the movie, I get so tired of like the fanboys getting mad because quote unquote they change stuff, because it's like, what's the point of getting mad because like, oh yeah, they Superman's son is Superman now, right? Or oh man, they fucking what's his name? Falcon is Captain America now. It's like these changes don't hold, right? So yes, a black woman is 007, but in the next fucking movie, it's gonna be a dude again. So like, just chill, Like, these are all temporary changes. Like these companies aren't going to truly rock the status quo. So like the outrage before the movie came out was unwarranted, in my opinion. She was a cool character.
And people are expecting, they want the same film every time. Right. Maybe they want that. No one else wants that, really. Otherwise, the film series would have no longevity.
Oh, I liked it when he first met her, and then like when his car broke down. I've been watching these James Bond movies, and then when she gets back to the room, and he's like, "Oh, this is the bedroom." I said, "Oh, James Bond about to fuck a black woman." I said, "Okay," and then it did it, and I was like, he's not.
I mean, you need to see Live and Let Die if you want to see that.
View to a Kill.
See, I gotta watch these old ones, but I was like, when he did it, I was like, okay, he about to fuck a black woman, and then that didn't pan out. But I was like, okay, but no, I liked her.
Can we fucking give our props to Anna de Armas?
Who was that?
When he went to Cuba.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yes. When Felix was like, what did he say? I got something planned for you. He's like, I got something waiting on you. He said something like that. And then she showed up in that dress. My, oh my.
All right. And not even just that, like when she handed him his suit and she's like, come on, change. And he's like, right here. And she's like, motherfucker, we working. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's, oh my God. Like this, I didn't write this in trivia, but obviously the two of them worked together on Knives Out. And like he was like, hey, this girl is awesome. Like, let's put her in the movie. So like they wrote that scene for her. Like they wrote all that shit for her.
Yeah, I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I think I know the scene was made for her, but there was a rumor at some point that her character was going to be Olga Kurilenko, the woman from Quantum of Solace, which would make sense.
I did not hear that. I thought you were
I
gonna
thought
say
trailers.
that they actually filmed this, but that was actually originally they filmed this.
Oh,
Him and Jeffrey Wright.
oh, right. Did that happen?
That they filmed that.
Oh, right. I would quite like that as well.
Oh my God, that's her.
Who what are we talking about?
The girl we talking about. So I'm like, when you said her name, I'm like, hold up. She was in Knock Knock.
Oh yeah, Anna de Armas. Yeah,
Yeah, with Keanu Reeves.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's her.
She's got a new one that dropped yesterday called Deep Water with Ben Affleck. I'm really looking forward to watching that this weekend.
Wow, she had 3 movies coming out. She has Deep Water, The Gray Man, and Blonde. Oh, she plays Marilyn Monroe in the movie called Blonde,
Yeah.
coming out this year.
Okay, I'll check it out. I'm curious to know how she does her accent because like that accent's a little thick.
Cause what is she? She is Cuban and Spanish. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, she was wearing that dress. I was like,
Yes.
yeah, she was wearing that
Yes.
dress.
And I love it when like characters are like competent as shit. And she's like, oh yeah, well, she's like, I'm just out of training.
Yeah, no, she's like, yeah, those 3 weeks of training was good. Yeah.
Then she just fucking people up left and right.
Right. And actually, when she pulled out both guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you mentioned before, so we all watched On Her Majesty's Secret Service. So as someone that has not, because you may have seen like a Pierce Brosnan Bond, but you haven't really seen a lot of James Bond movies. What did you think of a Bond movie from the 60s, Matt?
Okay.
Yeah.
So my first instinct was, when you watch a movie that was made years
in a different
ago,
time.
Right? Yeah, in a different time, right? So it's from a different time, just like the look of it, right? But there's certain things in movies where like they do something or they say something, and you're like, oh yeah, this was an older movie. Is when he slapped that girl. I was like, when he grabbed her and he slapped her, he's like, I got means of making you talk. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, yes. So this was made in a different generation.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, who played James Bond?
George Lazenby.
Is he a popular James Bond?
Sadly, no. This is his only James Bond. And for a time, people hated this movie because for 5 movies straight, it was Sean Connery. And then he was like, I don't want to come back. And so they hired this guy, and people were like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, he hadn't acted before this, had he?
No, this is his first acting role. There's a documentary about him and how he basically conned his way into getting cast in this movie.
Nice.
He didn't really feel like James Bond to me.
Yeah.
Now, also, I've never seen a Sean Connery. I've never seen a
Roger Moore.
I've seen the Pierce Brosnan ones. So, but like, in my idea of a James Bond is one that is suave and not even charismatic, but like he just seemed like a dude to me.
The first time I saw this movie was last year, actually. For the longest, like I've seen every movie except this one. And so like I saved it to last year. And it was better than I thought. But something I don't care for is like at every instance they were like, hey, this is James Bond. Like, remember these other adventures? When he was cleaning out his desk, it's like, hey, you see these things he's pulling out his desk? Those were from some other adventures. This James Bond, y'all. Like when he was getting his ass whipped on the beach and he's like, this wouldn't happen to the other guy because I'm James Bond now, y'all. Like, I'm James Bond. So it's like it felt like the movie was just like, did everything it could to remind you this is James Bond instead of just letting him be.
Yeah, because I just felt like the storyline was fine, but it was just like as I'm watching him, and you guys can let me know when Roger Moore or what's the other one after Roger Moore?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Did they used to have one-liners like this? I don't.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
But to me, But like these,
You
were, like the
used to
ones he was
see
saying was
you
Oh,
are
go ahead.
you're used to Daniel Craig ones where they're trying to be more serious.
Mhm.
But no, like even up to Pierce Brosnan, it was those stupid ass fucking puns.
Yeah, because like when he do something, he will say something, and I'm like, if they were funny, all right, we could rock with it. But like he was saying, like when they were skiing and the guy went through the thing, and he was like, he has guts. I was like,
Who are you talking to? Not even that. Like, who are you talking to?
It's
right.
also
But
like so violent as well. It just explodes. It's like
right. And it's like
nuts.
when he was doing these words, I was like, But one thing I did enjoy, to me, it picked up is when he went to that compound. That's when it picked up, and he had to play that guy, and he met those girls, and he was like, "Oh, I see you at 7. Oh, I see you at 8. And
Right.
I see you at 9."
Right.
I was like, "Okay, this is the James Bond that I know." But Josh, what was your thoughts about it?
I had a kind of different reaction because I read the books before I watched this film, and he's very different to the other actors, but he's very faithful to the book Bond, I think, who is actually quite a more jovial character. You can picture him smiling, which you can't do with Daniel Craig, for instance. So it did work for me in that sense. As a film, I think faithful to the books, but not the other films, is that it's all pretty much in one location. I'm used to the films, him sort of jet setting off to different continents. You don't really get that with this. So it does feel a bit limited in that regard. But, and also there isn't really a theme song, is there? There's the music, there's no singing.
No.
So I think it's maybe around the time of Quantum, like they released like, hey, here's all those theme songs up to this point. And so I had that album, and I always thought like when we got to On Her Majesty's, they had the Louis Armstrong song in its place. So I always thought that was the theme song for this movie.
But it doesn't play, does it? Does it play in the credits?
It doesn't. It's just like music.
Yeah, his voice isn't in it. Which is it's a nice song, so it's a shame they left it out. Overall, I like it. I can see some people really like it. I know Christopher Nolan put it in his top 10 films of all time, for example, because it's one of the most emotional Bonds, and I'd say up to No Time to Die probably is the most emotionally affecting film.
Yeah, like you don't expect like real consequences to happen in a Bond movie, especially up to that point where it's like we having adventures. No, nothing bad can happen, and then Tracy dies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, yeah, tearjerker.
All right, so let's do our rankings real quick. So what would you guys rank these 5 movies?
The order?
Me, I would say Casino Royale #1, Skyfall, No Time to Die, and then probably Spectre, and then Quantum of Solace.
You will put Quantum last? You will put Spectre over Quantum?
I think if you ignore the last third of the film, it's pretty solid. They're different films, and I think they're interchangeable in the ranking, but I think it's a bit more enjoyable.
So me personally, like during this whole retrospective, I liked Quantum a lot more than I remembered. So I'm with you until the end. So #1, Casino Royale, Skyfall, No Time to Die, Quantum, and then Spectre.
I have the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it weird that the first one is the best one?
No, it's not, because it didn't have baggage. Like if these were just one-off movies, the order would probably be a little bit more mixed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also it came after Die Another Day, which is just dog shit. So
well, he's never seen that, so he didn't have that context.
Yeah. Who was in that?
That's the Pierce Brosnan's last one. That was the Halle Berry one.
Oh. Wait. What was the first one that it was in?
Goldeneye.
I've seen one of those. Which one was like a jet ski on the ice?
Die Another Day? I remember there was that ice palace.
Oh. No, yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Now I'm kind of intrigued. I kind of want to go back now and see what kind of kind of Bond he was now.
I mean,
Was he? Did people
Go-
like him as Bond?
they liked him in Goldeneye. I mean, actually, no. Pierce Brosnan was solid in all of those movies. The scripts start to slip.
Yeah, he was very good in the role. It's just the films themselves weren't very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's got your girl Judi Dench.
Mm-hmm. She can't do no wrong in my eyes.
So, what would you guys rank the theme songs?
Casino Royale, You Know My Name,
Yeah.
and then probably Skyfall, and then God, I think it's the same order as the films. I think No Time to Die, and then Spectre, and then Quantum of Solace. Same order.
Yeah. See, for me, no. Like, I love You Know My Name. Like, I like how upbeat and like fun and all that shit. But then, like, I didn't care for No Time to Die before I saw the movie. Like, when they, released the song before the movie, I was like, this is stupid. But like seeing like the context of like everything that happened, and then we're on the train and it starts playing, and then you see the visuals, I was like, not only do I love this song, I fuck with Billie Eilish now.
Yeah, it definitely works better in the context.
Yeah. So like
you don't like Skyfall by Adele?
No, I do. That's my number 3. But like I fuck so hard with No Time to Die. Since Skyfall, and I really like Another Way to Die, and I cannot fucking stand the writing on the wall. And I like Sam Smith.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't like Sam Smith, but I thought that song was a hair's breadth away from being great. I think if the chorus had been heavier, just the second chorus, for example, it would have been pretty fantastic.
I feel like it shouldn't have been as slow as it was, me personally.
Yeah, I can see that. I think
I can see they were going for melancholy. I get that.
Yeah. It definitely suits No Time to Die, but Spectre not quite as much. I can see that.
Yeah. So do you I'm sorry, Matt.
No, you go ahead.
Did you say your ranking?
No, but I'm just saying, like, the only one that really, like, just looking at this and playing in my head, the only one that really stood out to me was the Casino Royale one. You know my name? You know my name. Yeah. So, like, that's the only one that really stuck through me after watching all these. So my order doesn't really matter.
That's fair. Do you guys feel like, so overall, having seen all 5 Craig movies, do you think that this worked for their experiment of trying to do one long ass story?
I say,
go on.
Or no, you go ahead, Josh. You're the guest. Go first.
Well, he's our cousin now, so it don't matter.
All right, then never mind. Let me go first, then. All right. Well, no, as somebody who's new to this whole Bond thing, I think it did. You know how Marvel has got me intrigued into this continuous storyline type of stuff. So I love it when you have multiple movies and it shows the progression of the characters and everything. And, you watch movie 4, you might miss some shit that happened in movie 2. So I think it did. And overall, his progression as a person, I mean, it kind of slipped off 4. I like when, where he got injured, took off, and then what movie was it when he came back and he couldn't shoot?
Skyfall. But that was the thing. That was the 3rd one. And then he was like fucking perfect in 4.
Well, that's what I was about to mention. I was like, I like that story progression there to where, it had a reason for everything and then it kind of thing. But I enjoy all 5. I mean, overall, I think it was good. I think it was success for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. I think it did work. I think it could have really worked if they'd planned it, if they'd make sure that there was a sort of 3-year gap between each film. And once again, if they planned it, so if they actually knew what they were going to do, I think a continuous story was actually the right direction to take it in. And actually, for the next one, I hope they kind of do the same. I just hope they plan it. So that's all I want.
Yeah, I agree. Like overall, it was good. Like it could have been better. Overall, it was good. I hope that they are more focused in the next one. Whatever they do next. What do you guys think the Rotten Tomatoes was for this movie?
70?
I'm going to say 74.
83.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
Happy with that. Yeah.
88% audience score. All right, so this week's trivia question, it is a cumulative. What's the word I'm trying to say?
Accumulative.
Thank you, that one. So this is based specifically off of the movies. In the 5 Daniel Craig James Bond movies, how many women has he slept with?
Might be here a while.
Wait. Because he's the only person he slept with for this one was.
She doesn't. So this movie technically doesn't count.
Right, because she was from from the other one. Right. Okay, I can do this. Casino Royale. He slept with that girl. He slept with the girl with the oil in her. Those were those two. And then the second movie was which one?
The second one was Quantum.
No, Quantum was the oil one, right?
I don't know.
Quantum was the oil one. That's not Casino Royale. So Casino Royale, he did one. Because hold on, 1, 2. He did 2 in Quantum.
No, I think he did 1.
Because which one was the one where
Fields.
he did the? Is this shit running? The one with the scar on her back was what movie was that?
Quantum.
But he just kissed him. Didn't go any further than that.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you do this. You know him better than me. You do it. You figure this out.
All right, I'll try. It's 2 in Casino Royale, I'm pretty sure. 1 in Quantum, 1 in Skyfall. No. There's another one right at the beginning. So 2 in Skyfall. That's 5. Who was your inspector? There's a kind of implied one at the beginning, but I don't think that really counts. So I think there's 2 overall in that, 7. And then none in No Time to Die. So 7, I would say, or possibly 8 if you include the one at the beginning with Spectre.
No, because we saw him walk out on her.
Yeah, no, but like sort of behind the scenes.
He didn't come back. And Matt made a point of that in the last episode.
I know,
that was very
you got
unbond.
this kind of in the days before. Maybe
no, no, Josh.
All right, I'll go 7. We'll do 7.
Do you back this up, Matt?
Yes, I support Josh.
No, you're correct. It's 7.
Oh, good.
All right.
I shouldn't know that, but I do.
So the type of mask seen in the film being worn by Safin is known as a no mask.
Mm-hmm.
They are made by carving from blocks of Japanese cypress and then later painted with natural pigments. The similarities of the word no and no, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, N-O-H, contributed to the belief prior to the release that Safin was going to be a new version of Dr. No, the title character in the very first James Bond movie. And I really thought that they were going to do that, like when they were at the base, and he was kind of dressed like Dr. No as well.
Yeah, there was an interview with him, and he said his favorite film was Dr. No, and people thought he wasn't being genuine. He was just kind of giving a hint, but I guess it was just telling the truth.
Or maybe they cut it.
Maybe. Yeah.
With this film, Daniel Craig became the 3rd oldest actor to play James Bond. Roger Moore stopped. His last movie was A View to a Kill when he was 57. Sean Connery's was 53 for Never Say Never Again. Actually, I should have read this because that's not really a Bond movie. It is, but it's not. And then Craig for No Time to Die, he was 51. And
he's 51 right now?
I mean,
he's 53 now, I think.
I mean, he looks good for that age.
Yeah. Speaking of looking like shit, fucking M looked terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when he was like, is this all right? No, okay. When he was like, has this desk got smaller, you got bigger, or whatever he said.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it says all 3 James Bond movies filmed that took place in Jamaica, Dr. No, Live and Let Die, and No Time to Die have all featured Felix. Yeah. But all right, this is the end of our James Bond Daniel Craig retrospective. It's been a long road, and we got a new friend out of it. So very nice doing this with you, Josh. To many podcasts in the future. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back to Europe, but I'm not bullshitting. We are going to hang out when I get out there.
Yeah. I'll wait for it.
Yeah. Did you have any final words before we get the hell out of here?
I feel like you're about to execute me. Just been a pleasure. It's been a great joy revisiting these films, and I look forward to the next iteration, whatever that is. Could be the worst film in the world, and I'll still enjoy it.
You talking about with us, or we talking about
the next show?
He's talking about us. Well, next time he's on.
You threatened to bring me back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll get a little bit more input, but yeah, we'll bring you back in like May or so. Give you some time to decompress, and we'll figure out something fun.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Used to Talk Pod. We will be back next week to discuss blasts from the past and with our own blast from the past, with two guests that were on before. Yeah. Also, Matt's going to be leading that episode. I'm saying it verbally so that you can't wiggle out of it, Matt.
Chad, edit this out.
Okay.
Edit yourself out.
Oh.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode, but whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.